legendary players, if you're a player that made it to the NBA, you probably played basketball in your neighborhood, at the playground, in the local middle school gym. You probably played basketball just as much as these AAU guys do. Not official. You didn't have a jersey. It was shirts and skins, but it was no different. So to say that you played more basketball because you played in an official AAU league than guys did 20 or 30 years ago, I think that's bullshit. We play basketball every day. We played basketball every day in the summertime. Every day. Okay? So, yeah, we didn't have an AAU league that we were affiliated with. We didn't have pretty jerseys. We didn't get on a bus and once again go across town and play somebody else. So that may be true, but it has no bearing on the conversation on whether those kids of yesteryear played as much basketball as the kids today in the NBA. No bearing at all. I think they all played a ton of basketball. I think they all played basketball every single day in one form or another. Yes, that's what I think. Uh, 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Let me read a couple of messages in the chat room on Spreaker.com from Grego. Just like not knowing if the superstars will play in the NBA, we don't know what the weather will bring day to day in the A at Ninja. From Ducking and Dodging, you didn't play NBA intensity level basketball. They play NBA intensity level basketball in AAU? I don't know. I don't know. We tried hard to win. And I'm sure that, oh, my gosh, my man Wody got another picture of Lunell naked. Man, Lunell holding her boobies. I'm not going to even read this message. From Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast, Western Conference teams travel a lot more miles than the East Coast Conference teams due to closer city proximity in the East versus the West, where not a lot of cities are close to each other the way the East cities are. From Finance Johnny, the only difference now is the culture that Popovich established, that resting your players gives you a better chance to win. Once again, point I keep making about that is there's no empirical data out there that shows that when Popovich rested his players, it increased their chances or it helped them win championships. And remember, before Popovich started doing this, Popovich just started doing this like 3-4 years ago when Tim Duncan became very, very old. The Spurs won championships before the last 3 or 4 years, and they didn't do this. You understand what I'm saying? So, I mean, there's no proof. There's no proof. There's actually proof to the contrary. When the San Antonio Spurs won championships before they started resting Tim Duncan and older players 3 or 4 years ago, they won championships. So that actually is an argument to the other side of this thing. From in the chat room on Spreaker.com, from X Squad, kicking it with Kesey, you soft Duke Biggie. Sorry, folks, this is the watered down league, watered down life, watered down society, play all the games, time off makes no sense to me. It makes no sense. Once again, if you could show me some type of proof, and it's impossible. I probably need to even stop saying that because everyone knows the answer to that. There is no proof. There is no proof. From Grego X Squad, I totally agree with you, Kesey. From J. Clyde Sensor, I thought Doug liked mammary glands but doesn't like Lunell's. No, I just don't like Lunell's face with the mammary glands. From Sydney Oprah Side Boob Jackson, I think 5 rings is proof enough. Yeah, some of those rings, 3 of those 5 rings, were before San Antonio started resting players. Right, I just made that point. Maybe you made this point in the chat room before you heard what I just said. From Sydney Oprah Side Boob Jackson, again, Spurs make deep playoff runs every year. That's why he started resting players. Yeah, but every year they were making playoff runs before he started resting players. What are you not paying attention, McFly? What? They were making playoff runs before he started resting players in San Antonio. What don't you understand? From Finance Johnny, agree, but everybody believes it now, not saying it's right. Huh. So John E. is saying because they believe it now is why it is what it is. Whether it's true or not, that's what they believe. So psychologically, that's the problem. Once again, back to the whole point about these cats being soft as baby doodle. From Texas, the privileged tie. He says, we all get vacation days at work. I'm not going to hate on a dude for taking a break when I'm taking half a day off Friday. From Raider paying member for life. Thank you, Raider, paying member for life. Thank you. We need it. He says, look, as a consumer locally, the Hawks market packages that have certain teams in it. Exactly. Let me stop right there and explain what he's talking about. And pretty much this probably happens in every city. So the Atlanta Hawks have like a 10-game package. And the 10-game package always features the 10 quote-unquote best / most exciting, most talent, star-laden teams. Okay? So, you know, a package would include the San Antonio Spurs. It'd include the Cleveland Cavaliers. It'd include the Golden State Warriors. It'd include the LA Clippers, maybe John Wall and the Washington Wizards. That's what the package would include. And the reason those packages have those teams is because of the players. So if the players aren't playing, the package is a fraud. Raiders paying member for life goes on to say, if you hold me hostage as a consumer to buy the ticket, then the Stars better play. And it couldn't be put any more better. From Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast, Pop didn't get much criticism for resetting players back then because the Spurs were considered by most media, the fans, as boring. So it wasn't made a big deal. When the greatest player on the planet does it, the microscope is much larger. Agreed. Very good points. And also it wasn't magnified before. Once again, I keep saying this because you understand, you kind of, and I don't know per se because we never really talked about it or paid attention. Like, I don't know if teams in the past haven't rested older players in the same manner that Pop did it noticeably a couple of years ago with Tim Duncan, in which everybody latched on to. Maybe they have done that, but you know what? That's kind of like accepted. It's kind of like accepted and understandable that if you got, in my case, being a Laker fan, if you got 38, 39-year-old Gary Payton and 40-year-old Karl Malone, then maybe you might give them a night off or two. You know, it's understood. It's kind of like an unwritten rule. The problem is when you start resting cats in their 20s, right, like Klay Thompson, like Kyrie Irving, where Steph Curry, and even LeBron. And LeBron's to that point where he's kind of on the fringe where it's understandable slightly, but not yet. And, oh, well, LeBron's played all of this basketball. They all played basketball. They've been playing in the Olympics since what? What year was that they had the Dream Team? Well, ever since they had the Dream Team. The best players have been playing in the Olympics, and the best players have been going to the playoffs each and every year and playing these long-ass seasons because they make it deep into the playoffs every year. They make it to the finals. What? The best example is Michael Jordan. If it's good enough for Michael Jordan, it's good enough for LeBron James' ass. Simple as that. From Rough Buff, he says, who remembers when NBA teams wore white sneakers in the regular season? And I lost the damn message. I'm sorry. For Mongo Slade, in the 80s and 90s, the game was more physical. Most teams in the 80s flew commercial, and players still played 82 games. That's a very good point. The game was much more physical. Okay? Any night, you were likely to get a clothesline going to the lane, trying to go to the basket. So the game was much more physical. You had hand checking. You had a more physical brand of basketball, and they still played 82 games. What's the problem with the young cats? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Why has this become an issue? Give me a legitimate reason why this has become an issue and why this has become a thing. It's become a thing. You know? And it's almost kind of like, you know, this is what's in style. This is what's in fashion. Oh, well, the thing to do in 2017 is to rest our players. Why? Because somebody else did it. Because somebody else is doing it. We're going to do it too, and they're doing it, and we should do it, and they're doing it, and their players need rest, and we think that it helps them in the long stretch and winning an NBA championship, even though they never rested players 20 years ago, and they still won championships, and they played all 82 games. It doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense, man. 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. But a lot of y'all, man, I'm finding, man, are enablers. A lot of y'all just, you know, everything is cool. Oh, don't say anything. Let it fly. If you say anything negative, you're a hater. It's not negative. It's not negative. It's not negative. It's creative, constructive criticism. It's a point. It's a valid point. It's not hating. To give a point that doesn't reflect your thoughts is not hating. It's an opinion. Simple as that. And it's got a lot of merit to it. The opinion that, you know, why is it an issue that these players got a problem with playing 82 games and the coaches feel like that it's okay to rest healthy players? That's a legitimate question, especially if you're a paying fan. That's not hate. That's legitimate. No, don't worry about it. Let them take a couple games off. We love LeBron. We love Steph Curry. We love Klay Thompson. Let them take a night off, even though I paid a couple $100 for these tickets. You know, let Draymond Green sit. It's okay. It's no big deal. It may not be a big deal to you, but to a lot of people, it is a big deal. It's a big deal to Adam Silver. It's a big deal to the NBA. It's a big-ass deal. It's a big deal if they come back and try to repeal some of that money they got for TV. Huh? It's a big-ass deal to the players then. When we get back from the break, man, a little entertainment talk. Birthdays, I'll tell you what I thought about Kong, Skull Island. Back in 3 minutes, the Doug Stewart Show.
Desire would bring royalty to me. Claimed right giver of the purple moon. Magic runs through my rivers. You can call me the child of the moon. Inside of eyes, sky and sea, high and deep, surrounds me. I will guide your mind to set your body free. Touched passion emotionally, I can see your reflection.